go. Hello, folks. Not sure if anybody has been waiting for me. I'm finally here. And guess what? Because I have just started working for a new company now, Hive Mq, as you can see in here. I have them on my screen, and behind me, you can see Hive Mq. So they're a company based in Germany, and it's pretty exciting. They're doing IoT connected devices messaging. So a lot of these are dealing with IoT messaging. So yeah, and I think some of you too, if you've been following me, all of you, my friends, yeah, on my Discord channel too. I told you I would be starting, but I did not even realize that my previous setup, right? It was already set up, so it kind of already took it took some time to get everything up. Then I didn't realize when I was swapping over, well, I got all of my OBS, all the screens kind of set up. But then I realized all of my audio were not quite set up. I was just running another NDI feed so then I can grab the audio. Although I still don't know how to set it up properly, I have to admit. The NDI, essentially, right, is virtual speakers input. So I wanted it to be also like feeding into my stream here, but I think the quality isn't so good. But so if you have any kind of suggestion, I would like to hear what you can tell me about it too, because even for me it's been a bit of a journey in here. And not only that too, in this case too, I'm running it this stream now on my personal Twitch now. So I would like to, at some point too, I think for the new company, we're going to be setting up another channel. So then it's not just like for Hive MQ, but it's essentially more about MQTT. The protocol is being implemented by many vendors too. Well, I shouldn't say like many, but there are definitely vendors out there or open source. For example, like Eclipse Foundation has Mosquito. So maybe some of you have already been using that. I don't know, but Mosquito too is essentially implemented in C. Essentially it kind of favors, right, like C and C++ implementation. But the nice thing too, as as any kind of messaging products, you can actually have different flavors of client to connect to your broker, which is kind of the beauty to me, right? It's kind of doing messaging asynchronous is kind of, that's less of a rigidity. But at the same time though, because it is not something that we all started school when we go to computer science or learn programming, they don't always kind of go into doing asynchronous style streaming, which is kind of a bit of a different way of thinking, right? And so it's just not as commonplace. So I don't think it's just kind of chime with a lot of us. I mean, even for me, I remember when I first learned how to program JMS, right, Java Messaging Service. So it definitely pops up. Of course, in JMS there are topics, and then there are also queues too. But basically the model, right, JMS model is essentially queuing, message queuing, or doing the topics like pops up. And I remember myself when I first was doing that, it was confusing. It's just because we're not used to it. So, and anyway, let me know too if you can hear me. For some reason, I'm realizing my sound is kind of like soft, so you can tell me. Last time I know that Timeless Potato told me it was too loud, so I don't know if it's too loud this time. And again, this is kind of a new setup for me now. I'm kind of actually running it, as you can see, from Restream, and I'm being a little bit conservative right now. Well, the thing is too is that there's still a lot of setup, so I'm using just the free tier access of all of my things right now. So it's a bit of a limited kind of facility, but then I'm able to set things up on OBS. So then, but still too, because I'm multi-streaming, I want to leverage on Restream to do it. So, but StreamYard too was actually, I was having some issue with StreamYard. It wasn't it wasn't allowing me to do some things. What was it? I forgot exactly. But anyway, it was last night I was trying to do it. So I decided, well, let me kind of look into Restream. I actually set up Restream just for testing purpose. So it seems like it's working better. So I may kind of switch it, and then we may get the like a better version. So then we can do more things, and I can invite folks. But it's actually on this Restream too. It's nice too. I should be able to invite anybody up to, I think, 5 people, including myself. So there are like 6 people. So I should say, well, including 5, and then with me that would be 6. I can have 6. So for this free tier access, which isn't too bad at all. So anyway, yeah, if you are interested, right, in joining my stream, let me know too on the chat. Although I have to kind of switch back to doing the chat, and then let me see. Oh, and then you realize too, my chat is having a lot of the music. Oh, there's no music. Timeless Potato, thank you very much. Because I thought I was doing that. Thank you. Yeah, maybe let me take a look. Are you listening? I mean, can you hear it now? A little. It is very true. I turn it down lower. Timeless Potato. If it is bothering, let me know, because from my perspective, I can hear and I feel I'm talking. So, but thank you for the feedback, Timeless Potato. You're always so good. And sorry about that. I'm being kind of slow today. Well, as it turns out, right, just to give you an idea, I started working at Hive Mq, beginning of the year, the first working day, which was actually Monday, right, the 3rd. And so and let me tell you something. Now, I don't know if my new manager is, somewhere listening, because he knows I'm streaming too. He's a great guy, by the way, Ian, if you're there, thank you. Or maybe folks are watching me, on demand too. So, but thank you. I've kind of invited my new colleagues to watch too. And as such, right, Hive MQ is a small company of only, I think, 60 to 70 people now, must be somewhere along those. So it's kind of a nice different for me. But let me bring my microphone over a little bit closer. As such, right, I have this microphone, but then I also have other setup in here, so it's a bit kind of a challenge trying to set up everything. And I'm not sure why. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Timeless Potato, can you hear the music? I like to have some music. I don't know about you, but yeah. So maybe you can see it being displayed, but yeah, I don't know if it gets yeah, it gets, because and that's the stream, and that's the thing too. I'm actually running it with NDI. I wonder if it's like uh let me okay. Can you hear me now? You can let me know too, because I have switched it. I guess I shouldn't be using this virtual input. There's some faint music. Okay, and how about okay? Yeah, I'm not sure. That is very strange. It's something I need to investigate. Maybe I'll turn it up a higher. But yeah, if it's noisy, let me know, Timeless Potato. But yeah, I don't know now if you can listen to my voice. But in any event, I try switching it to another like feed. So I don't know if it's working or not, because that the NDI is a newer version too. And oh, okay, I think it looks as though I am seeing some kind of bot going too. Yeah. Now it's all right. Yeah, the volume. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let me know, Timeless Potato. And I don't know if you see this bot thing. I've been noticing this bot thing. Oh, it's from my YouTube. You know why? Because I'm also multi-streaming to YouTube, because then I can then save my stream over there too. And okay, I'm going to block this guy on that. So yeah, okay. All right. So I realized too, it's interesting, right? Using these third-party streaming, it kind of comes out like differently, how it interacts. And then for me too, you can also suggest to me, because Timeless Potato, you gave me some suggestion on what was that? Now I can't even remember. That was like before the holidays. You sent me a link. It's like to install some plugin for helping with the stream, right? So maybe you can send it to me if you get a chance, or if you have any good suggestions too, because I realized that, okay, previously when I was streaming on IBM Developer, um, Yes, thank you so much. Yes, scheduling events in this card. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. As you can tell, I just have like way too many things going on. Sometimes I can't remember because these days, right, I have to also get ready. I'm learning new things now, right? The Hive MQ, the IoT, and everything. Fusnabo, good day, good day. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Anyway, so again, right? I don't know if you just joined or not, but for me, right, this setup is a bit new. I'm using Restream, so let's see how this goes. And like I said, right, today I thought let's chat a little bit, and of course it is the new year, so happy New Year. I'm hoping all of you are, kind of having a, great start to your year. And I hope to Futsnabo, maybe your Log4j issue is all resolved. And maybe Timeless Potato, did you have to fix that too? But anyway, so just thought I kind of have a bit of an, kind of like chatting a little bit. Although I do have to say too, is interesting. I'm now working for Hive MQ, which is a German based company in Bavaria region. So, and they told me it's like 45 minutes outside of Munich. So it's close enough to that, but it's a smaller city. And anyway, so I'm hoping to kind of visit that one day. Although, yeah, like in my onboarding, right? So there's actually somebody too who's also a colleague. Oh, okay. So Futsnabo, okay, great. The Log4j has cooled down. That's great. Yeah, even for me too, right? I haven't heard as much. I'm sure that things the Log4j issues probably like under control. Not as majorly as it was, right before the holidays. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, so let's see. But now you're migrating. Oh, your COBOL app. I remember told me about the COBOL app. So to a modern app. So that's very cool. So I hope it's going well for you. Yeah. And anyway, let me see. I'm just, you know what? I'm kind of like curious to see if I can adjust my volume on all my devices. I don't know like why. Uh, okay, output. Maybe because the output. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let me adjust my sound because you were saying it doesn't go so right? Remember when I was having issue too earlier, right? When I was switching devices, I remember I was using my home laptop for a while, and then I got stuff set up. However, I have to then migrate it to my new replacement laptop. And then since then, I forgot, right? Then I put the new things in the new thing, in my old computer and all of these things. So I have to kind of adjust it. It's kind of interesting. I'm more of a, developer, but having had to also manage these things sometimes is a bit of an extra task too. Like today, actually, when I was setting things up, what was happening is that I needed to log on to the different accounts, and then they were coming back, for example, like Authy, right, was like asking me to verify my security code again, and then I forgot where I put my security code. Although I shouldn't say I forgot exactly, but I put it into my other device, right, all my password, so it's off the internet too, so it's all safe, it's not connected. So I had to search for that, and then I couldn't find it for a long time. And so anyway, so everything was like all of a sudden, you have to deal with all of your software, all of your frameworks, and all of your platforms, and all of a sudden have to like the security aspect add some extra time to it. I mean, but it's for good reason too. So that's good. But it's really took me some time. But in any event, yeah, let me kind of get back to the chat. Yeah. Wage codes, employees, ledger accounts, exciting stuff. Oh, so Fusnabo, that's right. You work for Ericsson, right? Is that right? Like, are you still working for Ericsson, or maybe like it sounds like then your system is like managing like kind of employee management. Oh, I see. Ericsson's long time ago. So now is it like a company that you're working with, like accounting systems? Like it sounds like, right? You said there are employees, ledger accounts, and things like that, right? Oh, home improvement firms. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I see. I see. But it sounds like then you have a lot of experience in kind of like that type of system, right? Kind of home improvement, like employee management, things like that, right? Logistics, payroll, lots of integration. Yeah, yeah. So kind of like business operational stuff. Yeah, those things I have to say too. They sound like okay, it's kind of repetitive or whatever, but it's actually it takes a lot of time and all the data, right? You have to be careful about, and especially I can imagine you have a lot of GDPR and things like that to worry about, right? Is that correct? Now, I haven't worked as much, but I did, I should say, at some other company in which I also have to worry about subscriber, to tax information, or not tax, trading information I mentioned to you. So there are like subscriber information and also user system that are tie into the company ERP system, right? So now in the US, there hasn't been anything like GDPR, but I think certain states too, they do have like privacy kind of protection thing. But I think in Illinois, where I am, there isn't anything like that. Yeah. Oh, CCPA. Okay, yeah. So is that some, the devil is in the details and the numbers are important? Yeah, yeah. Totally. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, so CCPA. That's what I thought too. California has kind of somewhat a stricter rule. So that's CCPA. Yeah, I'm sure you are more familiar with it. But here in Illinois, there isn't such a thing, right? With government kind of thing. But it's usually it's like by company. Oh, okay. California Consumer Protection Act. Okay, well, thank you for yeah, in kind of educating me about that. Yeah, that sounds right. I think that really sounds right. So so I hope you can hear me okay, right? I was going to adjust my microphone because you're saying where is my microphone thing? Wait, I'm so sorry. Actually, I have my okay. Let me kind of make sure too. Now it's kind of swapped me over. I can't even see where. Okay, here we go. Sometimes, okay, maybe let me okay, so I have my microphone a little bit kind of like far. I set too far. So but it's actually kind of interesting. Oh, that is strange. On my microphone, it's actually a lot of like yellow sound. I'm not even sure why it is like that, or kind of like yellow. Maybe that's why you're saying that it is. Let me, okay, all right. Let me kind of take a look at it to see what's going on. I mean, on the switch itself, I'm not sure if I need to switch. Okay, is it better now? Yeah, is it better now? I hope it is better. I think because I didn't realize there are some LED lights that are like yellow in color. I don't know what yellow might mean, but and it's also because I had to restart my system because I had to install the NDI and updated version of the new tech thing for my audio. So maybe that's why something got unset. And then all these things that are on my desk that are growing that I never even got a chance to clean up. So now I have to actually clean things up. And I also have some new monitors coming. So I have to install them. They're great. Isn't it nice? I'm kind of given like 2 new monitors. So it should help me too, because then before that, I actually have my own small, not an external monitor, but okay, so let me kind of swap back. I can't find myself. Okay, actually, you know what? Let me kind of, because now I can't see the chat, and so let me. Okay, here we go. Okay, now it's better. For some reason, I kind of like got maximized when I was like searching things. Okay, yeah, off topic, but one of my shaders got shader of the week. Oh, that's right. You are doing the shaders project, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very cool. Yeah, and thank you. Yeah, you sent it to us too. Yeah. Yeah, congratulations. That's wonderful. Yeah, you should share it. Yeah, on my Discord channel, right? And folks, yeah, that's right. If you're interested, my Discord, that one I got prepared. So yeah, so if you just join me, if you want to stay connected with myself, with the community, such as here we have Timeless Potato, we have Food Snabble, and I know Frank kind of mentioned that he might join, but I think he's really busy, so I don't expect it. But that was nice of him to touch base. And then App Boy, actually, he is still recovering from COVID, so I hope he's. I don't know if App Boy is online or not, but I hope if you're online, I hope you get well soon. Get 100% healthy soon. But from what I heard too, sometimes after COVID, there may still be some time, right, of the after effect, right? I think primarily a lot of folks have problems with with the what you call taste and smell and like that. I think that seems to be a very common kind of issue. But I hope at Boy you don't have that, because it would be hard, right? I can't imagine yourself like eating something and then feeling kind of like there's no taste to it, and then you're chewing, it's just you just feel the texture without the taste. I think it would be kind of hard. And then if how can it be, right? I think like having good food and good smell of food are kind of like enjoyment in life. We can't be living without that. That's kind of hard. But anyway, I hope you get well soon. I hope to anybody you know of, maybe that got sick and all that, get well soon. We are all trying the best. And to be honest with you, last weekend I was actually at my nephew's wedding, but that explains why I was extra busy, because I drove to Wisconsin, right, from Illinois. So it's about a 4 hours or so driving, and it was very cold. And up there, it's not even the northernmost Wisconsin, although I have to say that I can imagine, right, folks living in way up north in Canada, right, close to the Arctic Circle, I can imagine is probably very extremely cold. But anyway, so in Illinois, we had like maybe like single digit or maybe something like that, right? Single digit Fahrenheit. So that would be equivalent of minus how much would that be? Like minus like 20, maybe like 10, 15, 20 something. And then in Wisconsin there, it was minus 25 Celsius, essentially, right? It was like zero. Yeah, something. Yeah, exactly. Like minus 10, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see? Oh, my bears. No, that I didn't see. Yeah. So you are familiar, right? Timeless potato. It is very true. There are lots of like forests up kind of north, right? In the northern part of the states. And then yeah, there are people going somewhere and they would be running into seeing bears and wild animals and everything. But no, I did not see it this time. I didn't go like way up north, because I think if you kind of if you have been to Wisconsin, right, like by like the five Great Lakes, so that would be Lake Michigan, so like way up, right, or even like I should say Lake Superior. So if you take a look into the map, there are five Great Lakes, right? It's called huge. And so the very northernmost, that's north of Wisconsin, is Lake Superior, sort of like run west to east kind of thing. That one, I think if you go way up there, so that's border not just Wisconsin but also Minnesota, right? So that's actually really really pretty. There are some like along the shoreline, there are really nice features, geographical features and things like that. So yeah, so those places, that's where I heard too there are bears and all kind of wild animals, even like in people's residential places that are close to the lake too. So yeah, that's interesting. But I didn't get up all the way there. So it's sort of like middle part of the states. And and if there's a city, right, called Warsaw. So it's not, they're not in Warsaw, but it's near that, right? So more like kind of center of Wisconsin. So there are actually, in fact, a lot of folks too that moved there from Europe. They are from mostly, I think, from Germany, and then from I think maybe the Scandinavian countries too. So I'm sure too, it's probably the weather is similar. So maybe that's why people settle down in there. So there are lots of influences of those people in that region of the United States. So, but yeah, it's actually very interesting because even the food and everything too, right? It's very interesting. So yeah, so even too, like my in-laws, right? They actually have Eastern European background, as you can tell from my last name. So I actually, when I first got married too, I was like, I got I got to know about food that are like the Polish dumplings, for example, the and what are the thing like the dumplings, and then the I don't know if you are familiar with the Polish cookies that kolashki, right, or something. I think, how do you say it? It's really, that's my favorite, one of my favorite kind of cookies, right? So those are really nice. But anyway, I didn't mean to digress into that, but just to kind of give you an idea. Yeah. So yeah. Food snapple, moose. Yes, it's common. Yeah, they are really big. Yeah, their horns too is like amazing. Yeah, yeah. That is funny. So food snapple, I bet in Norway too, you also have moose, right? Because they tend to kind of, I think moose are like commonplace in really cold, kind of what you call it, like forests, right? Kind of what's coniferous type of forest, right? In kind of like that latitude, right? In all over the world, right? That's where moose are found. Yeah, they are kind of common too. So that's interesting. I like the fact that you talk about them getting drunk on fermented apples. And actually, talking about which too, not just like moose, right? There are also deer too, and the deer population, in fact, in Wisconsin has gotten a bit like kind of overwhelming, because I think they are causing some issues, and they become so much so then, I believe that there are legislations to trying to have kind of control of their population. But then the thing is too, in the fall season, right? People can go out and hunting and everything. So I think that's kind of, you have to get a license for it. So people are actually hunting for deer too. So they try to control the population. But for me though, I would never do that, because just simply because I just don't believe in killing them. I mean, they're such beautiful like animals, right? So yeah, but anyway, that's just me. But maybe you do, right? Yeah, that's right. So, I see. Fusnabel, you're in the city. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's the same Fusnabel. Yeah. Oh, wild boars. Boars are probably bigger problems. Oh, okay. So that must be done in Norway then, right? The boars. Yeah. Because I know that in Wisconsin, I haven't heard of that issue, but definitely, um, that's interesting. Yeah. So, but like I said, in Wisconsin, it's more about the deer that are kind of having major issue. I maybe boars too. I don't live up there, but I'm aware of the deer because my in-laws, they are farmers. They're cranberry growers, so they also have like a big kind of an open area. All the water in the reservoir. They really live in the countryside. It's really beautiful there. So, and I can imagine that it's probably similar to kind of like that part of Europe too, that the climate and a lot of things, right? They have cranberries, because from what I know too, their cranberries are also grown in some parts of Europe too. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, yeah. Release wolves? Very easy. Yeah, wow. Wolves, you know what? Talking about wolves, actually, in my neighborhood too, there have been people spotting some wolves too. Although they are not as many as actually fox. There are actually foxes also in my neighborhood too, and also coyotes too. So they're kind of coyotes. I think it's more like a blend between fox and wolves and dogs, or some domestic dogs, I think, right? Do you have coyotes too? Like coyotes, right? I should say. Yeah. So coyotes too. So that's something that I'm kind of guessing that you may be aware of coyotes too. But anyway, they are kind of like fox too. So, but the thing is, it can be dangerous, right? Because they can eat, or attack like people's homes. They have dogs or small children, so that can be dangerous too. And but yeah, they're becoming a problem. Not sure why. Maybe because of food supply, they're being forced to kind of get closer to human population area. Maybe like food supply. So yeah, that's very great. Can easily start fight over dinner. Oh yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, but so far though, I haven't seen any. But I think what I have seen is they're not foxes or wolves fighting. They are more about they're actually skunks. Yeah, yeah. So skunks probably are popular. I don't know if they are also in your area too, but they are all obviously kind of can admit very unpleasant kind of odors, right? So yeah, so people fighting over wolves. Be or not to be. That is so funny. But anyway, so okay, so I think I have kind of like talked enough. I don't know, again, if my manager is here lurking behind, so he must be like saying that, why is Mary not talking about anything about Hive MQ? No, I'm just kidding. But yes, but that's the whole goal, right? We just want to have some conversation, and then also then show you some things, right? And as such, I'm also myself learning Hive MQ. I'm very excited because as such, right, when you first follow my stream last year, I was doing mostly like reactive programming, things like that. And in fact, these techniques, right, all of this stuff about reactive are actually being employed to like implement, for example, the messaging broker and things like that. It's just because it's the asynchronous style of processing. And HiveMQ is nice. It's Java-based product. And like I said, you can, there are other products such as like open source, like Eclipse Foundation has Mosquito. I think that maybe some of you have used it. It's all free, Eclipse Foundation, free software. And then there are also this Vern MQ, that one too, that I was like kind of looking through. In fact, let me kind of go over here, because I think it's good to know too what's out there, right? So if we can take a look at MQTT brokers, I think there's a really nice wiki page that I found. Wait, where is it? So there's mosquitoes, MQTT. Okay, let's look at MQTT software. Okay, so as such, right, MQTT is a kind of community-driven kind of, stands for message queuing telemetry transport. So it's a protocol, and it's based on the PubSub model. So, okay, I should probably like not have my caption over here. It's blocking things. Okay, back to here. So yeah, so MQTT. So if you go to MQTT, let me go back here. So just for folks, and let me kind of do like that. MQTT. Okay, let me add that and then also show. Okay, so MQTT. So if you want to learn more about it, you can visit this link. As such, too, this specification is all consortium driven, community driven. So that's a nice thing. And so it's Oasis. It's governed by the Oasis. Also like open source community driven type of messaging protocol for IoT is ideal because it's the protocol is designed especially for devices, device to device communication. And as such, as we know, right, devices can be very small. It can be like a, in the medical, maybe it can be like in medical use. You can have something that it could be a heart monitor too, or something right small. You can have, well, kind of, I'm trying to think of example too. You can, also big, in medical field, and then also in automobile industry, essentially too. I mean, that's commonplace, right? These days, a lot of things like self-driving cars or any kind of automobile sending, like GPS signal, things like that, right? All these devices are small device-to-device communication. So that's commonplace. And then, of course, telecom, they're using that. And also, another thing I want to talk about, like transportation, for example, like, what transportation is cars, and you can have trains and all kinds, right? So they can be used in anything. It's actually, my manager and I were, he did a very nice presentation for me as I was onboarding the past day or so. And actually, he talked about something too. I thought that was very nice. But for me too, I think one thing I think would be kind of interesting to find out would be like in agriculture too, right? You can have like IoT devices that are there maybe to collect like any kind of weather elements, rainfall, measure all of these things. You can have all the devices scattered into a field, and you want them to be sending, data back to a server for processing all of these things, right? And maybe you can have, you want to measure to make sure if the water is too much and you need to open up the dam right in your reservoir. For example, like my in-laws too, they have cranberry farm, they have their reservoir. You could actually have a very rainy season and maybe you're getting too much rainfall. You need to kind of go and constantly release that water, otherwise everything would be too flooded, right? The thing is, growing cranberries is interesting if you're familiar with it, right? These are small crops, and actually, let me kind of show it too. They are part of a farmers cooperative called Ocean Spray. This is a company in the U.S. and cranberry. Okay, let me just show cranberry first, because just to kind of explain a little bit in case, right? Because it's a bit more like an. I think it's interesting. I thought for a while they are American based, but the thing is too, as you can read this, they are history of it, right? They actually are. They came from Europe too, but I think in North America, then they are in New England, for example, right? And Massachusetts is more the eastern kind of New England area. It's called the Northeast. And then, oops, okay, well, okay, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. But there are also like Europeans coming ashore too and meeting with Native Americans and all of these things. And Yeah, so I thought they also some countries in Europe also has it too. But the nice thing is they're really beautiful crops. I think the color at least, right? This is kind of like a picture of cranberries, how they're being harvested. And as such, this is like a typical look, of my in-laws' farm, because they actually they grow on small kind of short vines, and then in order to harvest them, because they grow in swampy area, right, kind of in water, essentially, you have to kind of keep it flooded. And so when you try to harvest it, you do need to pump more water to flood the whole thing. So it kind of knocks off the berries off of the small vine. They grow in kind of small, kind of like this much, right? Kind of a vines, and then all the crops, the red berries would grow on the vines like that. So you kind of knock it off, you flood them, and then they kind of like floating in there. But anyway, I'm bringing that up because the thing is too, I can see a lot of usages that you can use right on a farm. Devices that are measuring water level, things like that, right? And then you can then have programs that maybe like, could generate some kind of alarm if the water level is incorrect, whatever it is, right? So I'm just talking about it. And the thing is too, interestingly, okay, let me go back. So interestingly too, now I think of it, right? I actually also work for a cell phone company, and in fact, they were using cell phone technology to install kind of communication. Now, at the time I worked for them, that was 5 years ago, and then they were saying that there were some customers, they were farms, in the U.S., and then they actually install to on every cows when they get the cows roaming around the hills, and then they can install like devices that are basically will send signals. So then they will be roaming around in a couple thousand acres of farmland or something, or however measurement you saw, call it square meters now, right? But anyway, here in the US we're still using the old measurement unit, so like couple thousand acres something. So they're roaming around and got lost in the forest, and you're trying to kind of find the lost one. And if you have a device in there, they basically, like, through the signal tracing, you can kind of find out where exactly your cow is, your lost cow is too. So that's, in fact, it's kind of some kind of use case too. When I worked for the cell phone company, but I didn't actually work for that division that takes care of the cell technology and the devices. But I wouldn't be surprised. I bet they probably would be using something like MQTT. And so I actually will be having some talk that will be kind of introduced to folks about MQTT. Why is it being used? And I think if you have followed me in the past, last time, or maybe last two sessions too, is that I bet it doesn't hurt to repeat. The nice thing about it is really designed for environments that are very limited in capacity, like in operating environments. For example, your memory, kind of size. If you're thinking of they running in small devices, usually it's just very limited in memory capacity. And of course, too, when you transfer, right, the data back and forth. What if the network too, right? We're relying on some internet devices, and if internet goes down, there's no network. Then what do, right? You don't want the messages to be lost too. So there's like built-in facility in MQTT, and as such too, we're still a lot of devices are still on MQTT 3, like the 3.x release. But there's also MQTT 5, and so 5 is the one that has enhanced kind of capability and features to it too. But we can also take a look too. And it's like before I get to doing some coding. So okay, I kind of tend to talk with it. Okay, so here we go. So if you go into, okay, let me kind of shrink myself up. I'm kind of blocking everybody now. So let me kind of get back to my OBS, and okay, let me kind of make myself small. I don't need to be blocking things. So so here we go, right? So you can look into the MQTT specifications. This is like Oasis specification. It's a standard, right? There's technical committee, and in fact, Hive Mq, we have our founder, one of the three founders, Dominic. Also, he's the technical lead, and he participates, and also I didn't look into all the details, but he's one of the technical committee members. So maybe we're also voting members, not sure. But I think if anybody wants to join too, you are welcome to, or kind of read all of the minutes and to kind of follow up with that. Just like before, when I help out with microprofile, that was with Eclipse Foundation, but this is MQTT, the protocol. So So yeah, so you can read about that. And the interesting question is that why is it like MQTT 5 and then all of a sudden jump a version and there's no 4? But actually, I saw it somewhere too as to why there's no 4. And if I can find it, I will try to find it too. And it's interesting too. Now, as you can see, it's kind of funny, right? I think I told some of you folks too, or maybe you are aware of, and as you can see, member organizations include Hive Mq, and then next to it is IBM. So it's interesting. There are no conflicting things between the two organizations, and in fact, I would say Hive Mq is enhancing, helping that because MQTT originated from IBM by Andy Clark and also this other gentleman, his partner. At the time in 1999, they invented this protocol because they were managing a project that has to do with oil pipelines and communicating, all the data being sent to satellite. And they realized the network was very unreliable, and so they needed to design some things that would handle kind of this kind of scenario, and not knowing at the time when they designed something like this, and then now, right, in our new millennium, internet is becoming more and more, well, kind of like de facto, necessary things of the day. So then essentially two folks, at the MQTT is like they're looking into MQTT and realize it has the potential to kind of bring forth another breakthrough in kind of technology space, and that's actually is helping to define the standard, right, MQTT. And so now today too, MQTT is not what it used to be, but because it's kind of got greatly enhanced to handle device to device communication and in a very kind of restricted environment. And so yeah, so to sum up, right, and that's that. And also the fact is that it's very lightweight. For example, it's only got the header. Header is only like 2 bytes too, and then there's also the payload that comes with it, but also too, your header being small, then it's just a lot lighter. But I will talk a bit more too eventually. But for now too, that's that. And also the quality of service is very good. I think last time I talked about the QoS, quality of service, so that kind of helps with messages guarantee delivery, right? So if you remember QoS, there are like quality of service, there are 3 levels, and one is 0. 0 is like exactly 1 time, and then level 1 is 1 or more times, and then what is it? Okay, I can never quite remember it. Let me kind of go into here again. I should really like memorize it, right? You would think by now. So, or actually QoS. So that's very important, because in any kind of messaging systems, you have to make sure that there's guaranteed delivery, because all these messaging they are asynchronous, so there's almost seems like nobody's going after them, but so it's kind of up to the protocol itself to kind of guarantee that. So that's very important. Let me see, where is the QoS thing? Why is it that I cannot? Okay, you know what I'll do, let me go over here, kind of take a look at this. Quality. So yeah, quality of service is really in networking, and there are like essentially 3 levels, right? So it is very important. So if you're interested in finding out about it, you should be able to just search for QoS and advantages, and there are different levels. Why is it not here? Let me take a look. Today I feel kind of like disorganized. Well, I guess it's because it's just like too much stuff going on. But the thing is, I promise it will be better next time. There's always next time. So these are like networking things, but I wanted to kind of like show you, because, well, you know what, maybe that this may not be the place, but this seems like a good thing too, if you want to kind of take a look at some other products that are implementing QoS, and they're all kind of similar in this, right? The levels, actually I should say QoS levels 0, 1, and 2. Yeah, there we go. Back to Hive Mq. Yeah, that's right. I should have pointed all of you to this. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, anyway, so essentially too, if you want to learn about messaging and is specifically for IoT, all of these terminologies, you can stay with the Hive Mq website, and there are plenty of information in here too. And that's something I need to be doing myself, and we can all be learning together too. So, oops, and there's one thing I kind of got onto the wrong thing, but okay. Yep, and let me see. There are new messages too. Let me make sure that I was not checking. Ah, timeless potato, and you are right. Yeah, you are very observant. That is very true. I should say, right? Yeah. See, this is timeless potato. Yes, I changed my Chrome theme exactly. Yes, because you know why my system, right? Now, okay. So here's another thing. Because of the global supply chain problem, I actually started at the company, even though I got like over a month maybe, the time between the time I kind of accepted the employment and I was going to come, and they already placed an order for my MacBook, my new one. And I thought, okay, it should be here by now, but it did not. And it still has, it's going to have like 3 more weeks or something, 2 to 3 more weeks before I can receive my computer. So in the meantime, thankfully, I have my own computer. So I'm just using my personal one in the meantime, but which is okay. I mean, the point is, I kind of just like doing something. So yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thank you for noticing that. So, okay. So that's cool. And then what else? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, full Snapple. You're right. At least one's guarantee, and then there's also then a 0 or 1, and then also exactly ones, right? Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, that's what I should remember, right? 0 is at most once, and then at least once is level 1, and exactly once is the level 2. Yeah. So you want this is quality service is important, right? Like right over here. Why is it important? Because it's a really key feature, right? And basically, you give the client the power to choose a level of service that matches its network reliability and application logic. And because MQTT manages the retransmission of messages and guarantees delivery, even when the underlying transport is not reliable, then QoS makes communication in unreliable network a lot easier. So it is actually pretty cool. I think the more too I read about this, I feel it's something I like to kind of work with because I always enjoy messaging stuff, right? But so okay, so over here too, like if you're interested in it, right? How does it work, right? Over here, um, I mean, if you're interested, if not to, we can look at it next time because it almost seems like this might kind of get well. You know what? Why do we do that? It looks like it's kind of like quick enough. This summary is quick enough, so we can kind of take a look at it. So hopefully, that next time when I got quizzed about these different levels, I can answer it right away without looking up. So 0 is at most once, so it can be 0 too, right? And which means this minimal level is 0. So service level guarantees a best effort delivery. There's no guarantee of delivery. So the recipient does not acknowledge receipt of the message, and the message is not stored and retransmitted by the sender. QoS level 0 is often called fire and forget, right? And provides the same guarantee as the underlying TCP protocol. So okay, so that's good. So that's 0 is at most once, but it's a best effort, right? Oh, no. Okay, so now let's take a look at QoS level 1. So it's at least once. So QoS level 1 guarantees that a message is delivered at least one time to the receiver. So this one is more guarantee, right? It's not best effort. It's not even like that. It's just that your protocol there has mechanism to guarantee at least kind of once delivery. So and the sender will store the message until it gets a pub packet. So it's essentially acknowledged, from the recipient too, that that it's got received. Kind of feeling like here in the U.S., you go to the post office if you want to mail a letter. You can actually request. You pay extra, and then you get what is called like certified mail. So certified will kind of guarantee, and you also get the signature of your recipient too, that it should come back to you. So it's kind of like same kind of a concept, right? And it is possible for message to be sent or delivered multiple times too. So this is the scenario. So you can have the publish of your client is publishing QoS to one to the broker, and then basically the broker will then send back the pub act to the client too. So that's kind of guaranteed delivery at least once. Okay, let's see over here. Okay, so basically, yeah, you can also read that, but we can read through too. The sender uses the packet identifier in each packet to match the published packet to the corresponding pub packet. If the sender does not receive a pub packet in a reasonable amount of time, the sender resends the published packet. When a receiver gets a message with QoS1, it can process it immediately. For example, if the receiver is a broker, then the broker sends the message to all subscribing clients and then replies with a pubback packet. So, okay, so as you can see over here, right, this basically contains packet ID. Example is 4319. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, and then if the publishing client sends the message again, it sets a duplicate flag. So, okay, so that's how it can tell, right? You can actually send it multiple times. And in QoS1, this dupe flag is only used for internal purposes and is not processed by broker or the client. So, okay, so internal, and the receiver of the message sends a pubback regardless of the dupe flag. So that's level 1, which is at least once, right? Or no, I'm sorry, not exactly once, but at least, yeah, okay. At least once is QoS1, and then only once, at most once is 0, and then at least once, and then if you have exactly once is it's level 2 is exactly once. So that's the highest level of service in MQTT. So this level guarantees that each message is received only once by the intended recipients. And QoS2 is the safest and slowest quality of service level, and it's because the guarantee is provided by at least 2 request response flow. So a 4-part handshake. So as you can see, client, for example, send over here, right, QoS2 to the broker. The broker will send back a pub rec as I receive, I think over here, right, receive back. And basically to the client will have to kind of say, okay, I am actually this pub rel, which is like, that's interesting. What does it stand for? Pub rel. Okay, that's interesting. So it's not like in that order, but let's kind of take a look. Okay, so over here, when a receiver gets a QoS2 published packet from a sender, it processes the published message accordingly and replies to the sender with a pubrec. So it's kind of like receive that acknowledges the published packet. If the sender does not get a pubrec packet from the receiver, it sends the publish again with a dupe flag until it receives an acknowledgement. Oh, okay, here we go. So basically, too, it can keep sending, and then if it has to resend the second time, then there will be the flag setup for dupe flag setup until it receives it. So it kind of relentless. Think of it like that, right? Okay, and then once the sender receives a pubrec packet from the receiver, so basically over here, my first time if I get published and I set a pubrec and basically keep sending. So finally, 2 is that what is it? If the sender, okay, so the sender actually is interesting. Publish. Okay, so if the sender does not get a pubrec from the receiver, it sends a publish again until it receives an acknowledgement. Okay, I kind of in my mind got it not correct. So once the sender receives the pubrec from the receiver, the sender can then safely discard the initial publish, and then the sender stores the pubrec packet from the receiver, and then responds with a pubrel packet. So it's sort of like almost seems like a two-phase kind of protocol, right? So the second phase is after the receiver gets the pubrel packet, it can discard all store states and answer with a pubcomp complete must be like packet. The same is true when the sender receives the pubcomp until the receiver completes processing and sends the pubcomp packet back to the sender, the receiver stores a reference to the packet identifier of the original published packet. This step is important to avoid processing the message a second time. So that's important. After the sender receives the pubcomp packet, then the packet identifier of the published message becomes available for reuse. Okay, so as you can see, it takes longer, right? All of these it's always kind of this two-phase kind of series go back and forth. So yeah, we can dissect it a little more, but for now it's just a bit more like getting in a bit more detail of this. So and then when the QoS2 flow is complete, both parties are sure that the message is delivered and the sender has confirmation of the delivery. So it almost seems like to me, it's like, even put it in a human context, if we try to send something over to, you want to send something over there, it's just these back and forth of kind of like the ceremony, so to speak, right? To kind of guarantee, okay, are you sure? You keep asking, until it's really like complete, then you kind of claim victory essentially, right? So it takes longer. You know, there's no easier way around that. So if a packet gets lost along the way, the sender is responsible for to retransmit the message within a reasonable amount of time. This is equally true if the sender is an MQTT client or a broker, right? And the recipient has the responsibility to respond to each command message accordingly. So it kind of requires both receiver side to also be responsible too. So even if you say you receive something but you never send back an acknowledgement type of packet back, then you basically are holding up everybody. You know, it's kind of causing problem. But anyway, so yeah, so I hope that's a bit helpful. I always kind of wanting to kind of do this, and I get into this, and okay, so that's a bit of an detour of that, and as such, right? And I was gonna say, okay, last week, if you remember, I started the using Docker. I pull, you know, the broker, the Hive Mq MQTT broker, and run it on my machine. But guess what? I have swapped machines, so why don't we kind of do it from scratch? You know, last week was a bit of a, you know, kind of a holiday week, and we were just chatting rather than doing things. So let me then get a bit serious. And so now I started. What time did I start? So almost an hour. So maybe I'll spend the next half hour trying to reset up this MQTT broker on my new machine now, and then then we can kind of you know, run the broker and then also put together the JavaScript client, and that's what I was hoping to do. So yeah, so okay, so here we go. We go to, if you go into your hivemq.com site, right? So let me kind of make sure. I think I already sent that to you, did I? No, I didn't. So let me HiveMQ, and you can all find it too, but kind of just for completeness. hivemq.com. Okay. Okay, so this is the site to get to, and then from here too, you can find developers, resources, right? There are plenty. There should be like plenty. Oh, let me kind of, yeah. So all of these are kind of nice too. It's really, I feel myself so fortunate because company already has a pretty comprehensive set of documentation that's available for learning about different things like the basics and everything. And I will be starting to do some more like basics type of demo in here on Twitch, and also later in the month I'll be helping to do like a webinar, for example. It's all free too, so if you're interested, I'll send you information on that. But as such, I just started working, you know, with the company, and there isn't any streaming on Twitch yet. So I was just saying that let me do one, start by doing this one, right? For example, just to see how this goes. And if it's all good, we're going to make it a bit more formal. Then there will be a channel, maybe Hive MQ channel, or doing an MQTT channel, something like that. Then we can all learn together. I think this is like so exciting. I feel that there's so much potential in this area. And not only that too, you can actually have MQTT install on Raspberry Pi, for example, and we can actually test out different things. And I think those are the kind of things I know Timeless Potato teases me before with saying that now I'm going to be doing something fancy. Well, kind of not like really that fancy, but it's just that, you know, we're kind of venturing outside, you know, before, right? For example, I was working a lot of more framework things, and it's just more demoing what the features are. But, you know, doing this type of work, right? IoT, for example, it's like an application. You're trying to build some solution. We're just doing something kind of solution, kind of towards that, right? Let's put it that way. We kind of build some example to kind of illustrate how you can use this technology. So that's my goal too. I'm kind of getting excited because I want to do that more. So anyway, so yeah, so come to this section. You'll find all kinds of kind of information getting started. You know, and then this one too, I've also downloaded, which is the MQTT Essentials ebook. It's very nice. Yeah, that one's give you a really nice overview too, if you're interested in that, or if you want to kind of have a study group like this, and I can go over that with you together too. So give me some feedback and see how you would like it, right? So then, you know, if you're too busy, then I can be stepping through all of these with you, and maybe it will be helpful too, in a more kind of organized fashion. Okay, and then the other things, there are also like blog series that so far, right? All the company folks, you know, the technical and documentation technical writers, they have already put together a bunch of really nice kind of blogs too. So you can also visit that, and there are some videos too. There's actually a YouTube channel, and I saw that too, and that's very cool too. And so there's also this channel that you can also visit. Let me kind of send that to you. Okay, and then this is Hive Mq YouTube. Okay, it's just blocking my face, but that's okay. So okay, so if you want to, and you can search on that too. So yeah, you can also like look for information in here. Now, there's this one thing too, by the way, over here, the spark plug too. It's kind of interesting too. It's actually Sparkplug. Now, I haven't, obviously, it's new for me too. So I'll be interested to also learn more about it. It's quite new, as you can see. It's just come out like a couple months, I think. Yeah. So if you want to read more about it, okay, you can watch it too. But I like yeah. So it's just a couple months ago too, and so it's done by the technical founder Dominic Obermeyer, so CTO, right, and co-founder. So that should be pretty good too. I think this one. So if you want to learn more about this too, it's basically they're like actually interesting. Now I haven't worked with it, but at some point, yeah, I'll be kind of going over that too. Okay, so let me kind of go back in here. So there are also webinars. So that's the thing. The webinar is where I will also be helping out to do some like online kind of thing for you guys too. So okay, and then the white paper. See, it's so nice, right? Coming into a so to speak, a small company is actually so impressive. Already got like a lot of materials, and it makes it a little bit easier. Now the thing is too is that not only now with all the cloud is pretty much kind of, you can call it like cloud native ready. There are also, for example, Kubernetes. There are also like Hive MQ Kubernetes operator too. So if you're already into doing um, cloud native Kubernetes, and you can also kind of take a look into the operators too for doing cloud. Now that's another thing too. I will also be helping out with is there's also a managed Hive MQ cloud capability. So they're like essentially right now there are two models, and but the first model is more ready. It's called like pay as you go kind of model to the cloud one. Actually, I should actually go back in here too. I should be pointing to to it here. So over here too, yeah. So they have like two models, and although so maybe here too. It's not exactly kind of talked about, but two is that the company is planning on also building kind of more like a dedicated type of cloud that you can actually be managing some of these things yourself. But otherwise too, you can do pay as you go. It's essentially called manage IoT, right? So it's just like if you're doing Kafka. I think maybe like Fußnabel, where you have Kafka, you can do manage a Kafka. So the idea is similar. We actually already have this Hive MQ like manage platform as well too. So you can also look into that. Now, talking about Kafka, Hive MQ has very good integration too with Kafka as well. So Fußnabel, that might be something that you're interested in, because you have been, you've worked a lot with Kafka, right, in the past and stuff, right? Or I'm not sure actually if you're still working with Kafka or not, but yeah. So those are some of the things you can kind of look into, and yeah, and so I hope to kind of do more interesting things. But like I said, right, let me kind of start. So at this point, if you're interested in kind of following, it's just more like watching me kind of getting things set up. So okay, let me kind of let me undo it so I can be back here. So getting started. Okay, so let me kind of do this one thing, right? We can kind of do that. Okay, because if you remember, we can. Okay, so last week was what I had started with, but that was on my old system and I didn't save it. So that's why I'm now paying the price and having had to start everything again. So okay, so this is my thing in here. And so I have my Hive MQ. I thought I have it. Okay, I'm boarding. Let me say Twitch. So my Hive MQ, I have a Twitch folder. That's where I'm going to. Okay, and okay, let's clear everything. Okay, we're in here. Okay, so all right. But actually, first of all, I do need to do some installation. You know what? Actually, I should actually go back a step and get Hive MQ. So if you want to get it, so essentially we can do it like Hive MQ Cloud, but let's do it next time because today we just install the broker and run it locally, and we'll go to the Docker route. So we can just do install Hive MQ with Hive MQ Docker quick start. I think that would be the quickest. Now, if you have AWS too, let me kind of go back here. So if you have AWS, you can also have Hive MQ AMI too for AWS too. But for me, in my case, I haven't got an AWS account yet, so I won't be doing this yet. But hopefully too, I should be able to get a company account or whatever it is that I can use, and then we can also work on AWS side of things too. But let's do it doing local Docker. So probably is always the kind of the quickest way to kind of get started, right? And okay. So download, so essentially 2 is just run that. I think last week I already did that, right? Oops. Oh, what is it? Docker. I don't have Docker. Wait a minute. I do. Yes, I do have Docker. Yeah, so, okay. Because I copied the dollar too. That's why. Okay. Okay, wait. What is going on? Hive MQ. Unable to find image locally. Oh, because I haven't. Okay, I have installed Docker, yes. And wait, I probably have kind of like download, of course. Oh, okay. You know what? Okay, let me do it again then. I'll use my C jog. That's fine. That's my Chicago jog. So, oops. Oh, okay. Oh, for you too. Yeah, just download it. You should be able to. Well, what is it? I want to subscribe. I agree. Oh, yeah, of course. What am I doing? I thought everything is like marketing, so I don't want to click on that. So that's what it was. So yeah, let me check my other system because just wanted to make sure. Okay, yeah. You know what? By the way, too, I also have my own YouTube channel. So, like I said, I'm also streaming this now to my YouTube, just for like saving all of these things. So, but I guess on Twitch is probably easier, right? Because it's a bit more interactive. And not only that, too, tell me something too. Would you like me to install any kind of interesting Twitch type of? I guess they call like different plugins or different like interaction with users because I'm also looking into that too. I haven't used it, and so um, but I also realized too there are like things called bits, right, and all these other things. But obviously, I'm not setting this up for like monetary purpose. It's just for community building. But if you find it useful, if you have anything, you can suggest to me too, and I can also kind of install that. And let me see. Yeah. Oh, I keep getting these bots thing from my I don't know if you see it on the Twitch chat. Let me double check on my Twitch. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I think that particular like bot things is from YouTube, but I can see them all. On my restream, they aggregate all of these things. So I'm just gonna block this silly thing on my YouTube for some reason. It keeps bothering me. Yeah. That dude from back then was telling you about Twitch bots. Which dude? Yeah, you mean? Oh, you mean that means that word means that timeless potato. Okay, I think there are also different bots too because even though I don't read Cyrillic, right, the character, but I think there are like different ones. Yeah, yeah. What is yeah? Blonde German dude that went on your stream. Oh, the blonde one. Wait, blonde German dude. Was there somebody from Germany? Oh! I think I know which one. Because in my mind, I don't seem to recall he had blonde hair. And his name Johann was his name Johann? Yeah. Anyway, yes, I remember. he actually was very knowledgeable about domain names, right? That was the guy you were talking about. I think it was Johan, right? And yeah, I don't know where he is now. Yeah, anyway, but he came that one time. Yeah, I invited him. That was him. And then I had, of course, had Guy the previous week too. But Guy actually, by the way, got back to me. He was actually on vacation with his family. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, okay, so that was Johan. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was telling me about Twitch bots. Yeah, thank you, Timeless Potato. You're so good at remembering things. Yeah, but like I said, right, I think because I'm also you know duplicate or multi-streaming to my YouTube. So I think, yeah, the it's interesting on Restream here. It tells me like which source is the message from. So maybe that's why if you're not on my YouTube, then you won't be able to see that message. But like I said, there's some Cyrillic user keeps like popping up or just saying kind of not very useful stuff. It's just gibberish, right? So okay, so that's what it is. Thank you. Okay, all right then. Let me see. So I think I should be good now. And where is my thing, right? And download and pre-install installation requirement. Okay, so I just have to unzip it. Okay, and wait. But I was doing it. Why is that? Okay, hold on. I'm not doing the right thing. Sometimes when I'm like trying to do demo and then I'm not actually paying enough attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so I installed the broker. Okay, install it with. So I've downloaded it and I thought I had downloaded it. So let's kind of do this. Let's kind of. I think it's there. I was talking. Well, and I think I'm hearing somebody slacking me, but I think I'll talk to them later. I forgot to unmute, my or kind of unnotify things or set my notification off. But okay, so here we go, and I will be, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, it's somebody actually from my Chicago Java user group. My helper is good. I'll tell him. Let me give me a minute. That was nice of him. He was just trying to help because we have year-end financial things, so he helps me with that. So which is really wonderful. I'll just tell him. So give me a second. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, let me see. Yeah. I'll tell him because we need to file some financial report. This year end, the new year begins. So yeah, I'm streaming. I'll just tell him I'm streaming right now. I will respond back. I'll respond back to him after. Okay. And I forgot. In fact, sometimes I just forgot. Oops. I forgot about it, right? Because I have so many like Slack channel. That's the problem. And then, well, I guess I could have set maybe in some ways if I can like aggregate all of the Slack channel and then tell all of the notification to be off, I think that would be helpful, because then some of the things I don't usually get a lot of messages, not too frequent anyway, but this one I didn't expect. But okay, let me see. And let me see. And I think I'm good. Yeah, okay, somebody was like trying to talk to me about something, but anyway. Okay, I am back. So let me come here now. So my Hive MQ thing. I wish I kind of remember to, yeah. Okay. So where is it? The zip file. Wait, I thought I already downloaded. But the thing is too, isn't it? Wait, so I don't actually need to install it too. I can just do this, right? Why is it? Let me kind of do this. I guess it doesn't matter. Let me kind of do that. Huh. Oh. So I do actually need to install it first. What am I talking about? For some reason, I thought I could just like Docker. Oh, so it never actually downloaded for me. You know what? I think because I've already done that. Maybe I have to do this. let me do it again. I don't know if it lets me do it again, but I am sometimes not paying attention, and then okay, I'm on purpose. Oh, you know why? Because I never actually click on the download, and that's my problem when I'm talking and trying to do different things. So that's the thing about me. So okay, it's 198 megabytes, and guess what? I think my download speed is probably about not very fast. So let me take a look. I think I really need to upgrade or get better. So this is how fast my internet is. I think it's about 25, which is okay, right? And yeah, 2024, 25. So yeah, it's just gonna take some time. It's okay. So, but not too bad, I suppose. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so while that is going on, and we look at other things, and what else can we look at? Okay, this is 24. Okay, that's fine. We don't need that. While that is going on, not that. Okay, we've done with this, and these are the MQTT version 3.3. Oh, that's right. Then earlier I was talking about the 3.1. And the thing is, too, let's kind of take a look. I thought I'd come across something, but I didn't click on it, is why there is no MQTT4. Oh, secret unveiled. Why? Okay, so somebody was saying in here. So there is, in fact, looks like a WordPress article. So, okay, will never be released. Okay, so it says after 4 years, then so basically, in 2010, so 12 years ago, MQTT version 3.1 was released, and then 4 years later, it was 3.1.1. That's when it became an Oasis standard. The end of this year, so that was written in 2017. The next version will be released, which is MQTT 5. But wait, then why isn't the next release of 4.0? So the root cause lies in the variable header of the MQTT connect control packet. This is a good article then. The protocol version, or to be more precise, the protocol revision level is set in byte number 7. Okay, that's interesting. So essentially, the 8-bit unsigned value that represents the revision level of the protocol used by the client. The value of the protocol level field for the version 3.1.1 of the protocol is 4. So and this hex is 04. And so like that. And the protocol level of version 3.1 is defined as 3, and version 3.1.1 is 4. Well, this is confusing. Okay. Oh, so they're just the internal control packet in this case. Oh, okay. So it's essentially because of that. Okay, so that explains it's because of the of how it is being represented, right, on the protocol level. Yeah, internally in the protocol revision level in that case. Okay, so that explains. Okay, that's very cool. So if you're interested to know about it too, you can also kind of read up on this one. Somebody that wrote up a really nice kind of this one. So just FYI, right? Why there is where is it? There is no MQTT version 4.x, right? So I just send it to you. This one in the chat if you want to read up on that in the meantime. And so let me see if I got my stuff downloaded. Well, we're at 120 over 198, so that's not too bad. Okay, so let's see what else we can be looking at too, right? Some small things, and then there's also, well, maybe let's take a quick look then at MQTT 5 to see like what the differences are, right? So over here, I think I kind of quickly read through it, but just didn't remember exactly here. But the thing is, I think maybe the abstract, right? We'll kind of talk about this. So let's kind of read them on the abstract a little bit. Let's make it a little bigger. So essentially, two It is client server publish subscribe messaging transport. It is lightweight, open, simple, and designed to be easy to implement. The characteristics make it ideal for use in many situations, including constrained environments, right? Such as for communication in machine to machine and IoT, where a small code footprint is required and network bandwidth is at a premium. It runs over TCP/IP. All these things I think we already know, but I just wanted to see um, the reason, or actually not reason, but the version 5. What are the highlights of it? Maybe have to kind of scroll down a little bit. So okay, so change history. Maybe this guy over here. Okay, so maybe that's what I was looking for. It's just in a summary. Looks like it's just a significant number of new features to MQTT while keeping much of the core in place. The major functional objectives are enhancements for scalability and large-scale systems. So it's a bit definitely. It's kind of got this flavor of cloud native, kind of more towards that end, that goal, right, of kind of scalability for large-scale systems. Improved error reporting, and then formalized common patterns, including capability discovery and request response, and then extensibility mechanisms, including user properties. So as probably giving user properties are usually helping, right? If there's a user level kind of functionality that you can, kind of be leveraging, or kind of it has that capability. So it gives the user more developers more control to over certain kind of extending certain kind of mechanisms. And of course too, in MQTT2, there's also this layer is called extensible like SDK, and that's the one that if you want to say, it's kind of along those lines, but it's a bit different. It's basically extensibility SDK. It deals with if you want to extend and connect to external systems like MongoDB, Redis, or talking to Kafka, you basically can leverage on the Extensibility SDK to do that too. So there's actually another diagram too. Let me see if I can find it too. But the last but not least is basically performance improvements and support for small clients too. So these are kind of like highlight for what the differences are in version 5.0. But the thing is, the bulk of folks, I believe, are still kind of using the version 3.1 or 3.1.1. So at this point, so okay, so let's see. Okay, so that's good. So we're all good now. So let me open this, and this should then be here. Okay, so now that guy. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, and let me take a look. I see somebody. Hey, hello, Max. Yeah, I should say hello, Max, to Max. To Max, thank you for joining. Yeah, yeah. So and Max from Brazil, right? Yes, yeah. So thank you. And Max also is a developer advocate, and you are with a company that's based in Brazil, right? I believe. So thank you for joining me. Did you just join? So yeah. Anyway, and so today too. It's basically I'm just gonna go over, we're just chatting and then we get into some of these Hive MQ. I'm just going to have to redo it because it's a new laptop. It's not new, but it's my own personal laptop in which I needed a lot of upgrades. So I was doing that before. So okay, so now with that in here, then basically too, I can then do the install. Although there's one thing I wanted to do is it kind of Hive MQ. So did it? Okay, so it got kind of unzip already, but I do want to go back. I like to keep everything kind of more organized or as much as possible. So let me go back to my Twitch. Right, it's actually, let me keep it in here in my work Hive MQ folder. Then I'll just okay, let me move it in here. So everything is just happened in here. Wait a second, why am I having all of these things? Oh, okay, they're just different kind of things. So okay, that's fine. So let me just kind of clear. Okay, that's good. So let me do this one thing. Let me kind of okay. And so you know what? I actually have two things. It's my fault. Okay. Okay, I actually should be reorganizing all of my stuff. Sometimes I try to be too organized and then I get some things kind of all in here. Let me put into work dash Hive MQ and not the other. I actually have to remove that other thing over here. So, okay, so let me move it over here into my work dash Hive MQ. This is where I have my Hive MQ. Now I should be able to run, okay, my Docker run and then basically install it in here. So, wait, unable to find image Hive MQ, Hive MQ. And why is it so? Did anything change? Oh, I have to use personal. Oh, you know why? Do I need to use sudo? Okay, wait. Last time I didn't have trouble, but let me see. Uh, okay, so it's still not. I don't know. Well, I did not have trouble last week, so personal access token. Oh, you know why? Because I have not. Have I? I haven't logged in first. Yeah, that's right. And what is my password for Docker? I forgot. So hold on a second. I do need to. That's the thing. I have way too many accounts of different kinds, not just for work, right? Not just technical, but they're also my financial stuff. I started finally this winter kind of organized so I can get all of my savings account, all of these things kind of organized. So I started studying, in fact, about stock investment, things like that, right? Which I never kind of spent enough time on. So okay, so that's what I'm doing, and then all these different things I have to also be organizing all my password and different accounts. So anyway, let me kind of search for my Docker, and I forgot where I put it. Let me see. And that's the thing. Sometimes too, switching machines can be a lot of work because then I have to read all of these lock on things have to be redone, and that's usually what's kind of taking so much time. Because I really, honestly speaking, when you're doing work, then you forget about all, you forgot all of your account. What are the the password? I used to use the same passwords for everything, but it's not recommended anymore. So I actually should be using. I guess there's like one password and all of these things. I probably should be using that too. But I'm still using like old-fashioned things. So I save all of my password because I don't want any like network access to where I keep all of my passwords. So I keep it on a different device, and so that's kind of make it harder. I cannot. I have to physically kind of grab this device so then I can search for it, and so sorry about that. I'm kind of keeping you waiting, but I'm sure you're also working on something else. I hope you're just watching when you can, right? Okay, I cannot find my Docker password. What is my password? Sorry, I still cannot locate my password. So, yeah, I found it. So, okay. Okay, let me see. Which one is which? Okay, here we go. Okay, let me see. Okay, my password. Okay. Oh, shoot. Oh, I'm sorry. Max. Okay, Max, you were asking something. You are wrong. Is Hive a DB on Hadoop? No. Oh, you know what, Max? You had asked a really good question because even I got confused too at first when I look at Hive and then Hive MQ. They are different things. Yes, and you are right too. There's a Hive DB, and that's for Hadoop ecosystem. You're right. So that's different. So what I'm talking about here today is basically the Hive MQ. So this one is essentially an IoT messaging platform, or I should say IoT device to device like messaging suite of products. Let's put it like that. So, and it supports like MQTT. So that's the de facto like IoT device protocol. So that's the one I'm talking about, and that's Hive Mq. So yeah, I know it's all, all these names, right? They are using the same thing, and for example, I should say too. Of course, some of you, right, are using Atlassian, Jira, and all of these, right? And then the company is Confluence, right? So when I first kind of looked into Confluent and they have Kafka, I got confused too, because I was like, what are they doing? I thought Confluence was also doing Kafka. And then I realized, oh, that's Confluent, so that's when they first came out, the Confluent company, that, kind of commercial company that's kind of supporting Kafka. So it's so, I have to tell you, so confusing. It may be useful, I think, to have like a, some kind of a cheat sheet or kind of like suggestion page and list out all of these different company names, what do they do, and all these things, and otherwise it's just becoming really confusing. But you asked a good question. Okay. And then you're saying, are there relations between Hive MQ and Hive? I do not think so. Not that I know of. But I can find out, if like maybe, the Hive MQ, maybe eventually we're dealing with streaming data, or does it kind of work with the Hadoop, right, through Hive something? Maybe at some point. I should ask about that. You actually asked really good question, because maybe there are external SDK that you can actually have Hive MQ, maybe like handling, kind of device to device communication, and maybe they're a large data set. I don't know. Good question though. Yeah. Okay. You are welcome. Yeah. LOL. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. But I love it. When you guys ask questions like that, it's just, it's great. I think it's really great. So thank you so much. And in the meantime, I am still trying to figure out my personal token. So if you don't mind 1 second, because I think I might have saved this in a separate directory. So because sometimes with these things, right, I basically, when I was like transferring things from my old computer to my, well, old work computer to my personal computer, now becomes new, then I think I because as you can tell, right, it's just a chunk of things I was transferring, and I knew too there are all of these credentials, so I save it somewhere. So let me kind of search for it. I'm so sorry, but I think, that's the kind of thing, right, with, and it is absolutely necessary. We need to do things, carefully. There are lots of extra like security in place, all of these, and as you can tell, right, it is taking more time, because we're kind of in our brain, we're digesting one thing, and all of a sudden we have to do security stuff, usually kind of like an external thing, and we need to worry about it. So even for me, right, I don't have to deal with it every day. So now I in fact forgot, so I have to figure out where I save my credentials, and then I'd be able to find out what it is. So if you don't mind waiting for me for a second, let me see where that's another thing, because there are so many different, kind of levels of security and things like that. So I actually forgot. I forgot about where I put it, and I think I know why. I save it, and then I basically, being more like a Unix person myself, right? Unix, Linux, however you want to say it, I save things into a dot folder, so that's hidden. So when I try to do saving, right, copying, then it didn't get copied. So I later found out, and at the last minute, so a bunch of these files get saved elsewhere, and now I forgot where I put it. So let me search for them, and it's kind of just unbelievable. I should really have better mechanism for things like that. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, cool. Okay, I found out where I put my stuff now. I remember. See, I did it before the holidays, and then holiday was just too busy. So anyway, I'm going to have to. Actually going to have to undo this for now, because I need to put it over here so I can do it easier. There are different things, right? Yeah. Anyway, so see what I mean? Some of these things, right? I already had things set up, so every time you set up something, you forget about it, and then I don't remember it, right? And you do it once, and only when you change machines, and this is what is happening. And for me, it's just not enough time to get to this point. But I think you all understand, so you're all being very patient with me. So let me then kind of go to my directory and search for my um, Let me, okay, here we go. Okay, work. Because I have so many things and then I organize them in different levels. So even I forgot the time I need to look things up, I forgot where I put it. Being too careful is a good thing. Being careful also takes a lot of time. And now I cannot find my things. So, uh, okay, I am in this directory. And I thought I found my stuff. And oh, wait. Where was it? Uh, I thought I just found it, and now I lost. I lost it. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because then I switch it to access token, so now it needs my access token instead. So again, that was only used for the first time, and I forgot about it, and so now I am just looking for it. Okay, here we go. I think I found it now. So let me kind of go back to. Let me go back to my. Wait, I had some Docker command and it's not finding it either. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. Uh, there we go. Good. Huh. Good. So now I'm back here. So let me then do this one thing actually. Let me kind of go back. So now you can see, I succeeded because I finally found out where my access token was stored. Being too careful is a good thing. Being too careful also takes a lot of time. And I'm kind of so haphazard today. And here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, good. So now I'm there. Let me kind of try to do this again. Oh, last time it didn't take too long. Well, it's still. Oh, okay, okay. Not too bad now. At least it is going. So, okay. Oh, who would ever know, right? I don't know if anybody is actually trying this out or not. And timeless potato, thank you for your comment. It is on a post-it note. Yeah. That's the thing too. I keep things on my system, right? But because I'm like just involved with too many organizations. So anyway, that's why I keep folders that's called like work, and then I have my C drug and other folder and all of these things. But sometimes too, things come quickly. So I save something elsewhere, or I quickly log in, you need something, and I saved it and I said, okay, let me go back to organizing it again. But then I never actually remember to do that reorganizing, because then there are other new things coming in. So as a result, I got stuff in different places. So I had to kind of trace back, oh yeah, where did I save some of these things, right? And I save it normally, like I said, I call it like work folder, but then I realize I have another work folder. Underneath there are like pictures, and then I got pictures saved in here and there. So which means I actually need a chunk of time in which I really go through like a giant organization reorganization effort to organize everything, so they can all conform to the same kind of folder standard. Then I'd be able to find things. So this is like really crazy, but well, at least I kind of remember and trace it back, right? So okay, well, here we go. Yeah, so that's a good thing. After all those, something's working, so that's always good. So yeah. Okay, so I think it looks good, and it's running Java version 11. Okay, so it must be like okay, so trial license. Okay. All right, cool. So now we started this broker kind of listening, right, and all of these things. Okay, cool. So that's good. I think that's where I did to last time, and then I was saying though, okay, let's try to get in and do a JavaScript client. So let's see how far we can get today. And like I said, right, because I didn't think that it would take this long, so I said, well, let me kind of do it, in the session installation, because then I had to there's just too many things going on anyway, and then not knowing this actually takes longer. So it's always like Murphy's law, right? Okay, so that's what it is. So okay, and okay, all right, and oh, okay, so pre-installation. So this one we're not running it run.shell, so I think that's okay. uh, am I doing the right thing? Why is it in here? So I think once we do the Docker is already running inside the container, right? And hmm. Okay, well, I think I should be okay. Then why am I getting this set of require kind of thing, right? Okay, so okay, so this is here. Okay, okay, here we go. There we go. That's what we want to get to. It's basically the point the browser to the control center. So it's kind of like the console. Let's go here. Okay, and then oh, you know what? I should here. So admin and Hive Mq. That's the default, right? Okay, so here's our console. Okay, so that this is cool. So again, this is a new installation. So also is a trial kind of version. So there's no valid license, but it has a time trial. Now the thing is, right now I'm just using a time trial, but I'm going to, as such, I just joined the company. Like this is only my third day, so I haven't got the proper licensing. But I think if you want to too, I don't know if there's some extended time to try things out with it, so I can find out, if you're ever interested, right? Or if you want to do some work on your own to using this, I think would be good. And so okay, so this is good. Now okay, then optional too is to build an MQTT cluster. But the thing is too is that I should say let's do an MQTT client and connect it to Hive MQ on port 1883, and that's what we can try to do. Okay, let me kind of open link in the new tab. Okay, so that's where I was last week, and it was done kind of quickly. And since then, was just too much stuff going on. Now, that's another thing too. Is kind of interesting. As you can see, you can have different clients that's connecting to your broker too, and so, and it can be anything, right? You can do C, you can do Arduino, you can do Paho, Android, right? And Woof SSL. I don't know this one, and then Eclipse Paho embedded, and these are, I think Paho is also an Eclipse project, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's why Eclipse Paho Java, and actually by Dominic Obermeyer, so he's the CTO of Hive MQ. And you can also have Paho in Go too, and then there's also Dart and embedded too. So I think if you want to have it embedded, I bet that's probably for like kind of embedded like devices, small devices, right? So, but it's all C++ code. Although decide to allow the smallest, yeah, microcontroller. And in fact, I'm going to start looking into some of these microcontrollers too, one of which is called the ESP32. So that's something I'm going to try to also set up some of these things. So yeah, so if you are interested in those two, you can also try with those, right? But let's go back to the overview. Oh, wait, how did I get in here? No, uh, actually here, I just want to get back here. So we can also do a Hive MQ, MQTT client in Java client too. So as you can see, and there's MQTT, the JavaScript, and that's what I thought. Sometimes JavaScript is true. It's just like less of concern for scalability, all of these things, but it's kind of quick too, I have to say, if you want to set it up. So maybe let me resume this part, and then there's also Bajo JavaScript, and that might be worth also taking a look, maybe taking a look into this Eclipse Paho kind of a frame for client library framework too. So, and then this Paho Lua, I'm not even sure what this is. Let's take a look. That is interesting. Paho Lua client library implements client-side subset. Oh, so it's a subset of the MQTT protocol specification 3.1. Now, the thing is, using this is that only a text editor is required for rapid development of simple MQTT client applications on many platforms. So cross-compilation issues are avoided. Paro ICO platform is now part of Eclipse Paho. So I'm not that familiar with it. Maybe some of you are. So, okay. Okay. This is all foreign to me right now. I mean, kind of like the base language, right? With ICO. I'm not even sure. But it tells you too, this, whole library is in fact quite flexible, and everything supports a whole different, kind of different kinds of client, Objective-C, and also Mosquito PHP, and also who actually does PHP? Somebody I think from my audience has told me that you work with PHP. I forgot who that was, but in any event, yeah, I'm aware of two folks who are familiar with PHP. They really kind of like or stick to it too. So which is all okay. Yeah, I feel that we all need to get comfortable with the tools that can get our job done quickly, right, and efficiently. That you want to ensure the runtime is very efficient too. So that's kind of important, right? To does its job, not only does it correctly, but also the performance has to be good. So, and then there's Python. Yeah, these days I'd say everything is kind of almost like all Python somehow, right? The data science, the AI, the machine learning things. And then this one is Web Components Polymer. Okay, I think Polymers is dealing with more of the yeah, really like web kind of must be embedding inside your web stuff, right? So that I'm not familiar. Anyway, so these are the different clients that they're already set up there. I'm sure too, if you have some kind of suggestions, and you can also take a look into their, maybe there must be a request system somewhere. If you want something else, you can kind of indicate on here too. And I'm not sure. I think okay, and not to say I'm not sure, but I believe if you want to do .NET, I think there are Paho .NET client too, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I've come across that. So let's see, .NET client, yeah. Yeah, it's just not listed in there, right? Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah, so Paho. Okay, so if you go to Eclipse Foundation website and look up Eclipse Paho, these are essentially helping you to develop MQTT client. And so you can do C#, .NET, and WinRT client. So maybe this might be something that Fusnabo, if you being more familiar with the .NET side, if you want to do that, you can also look into this as an option for writing .NET client to talk to your your MQTT broker too. So it really, yeah, and that's the nice thing about messaging systems, right? Okay. So that's kind of it's kind of kind of information for us to know. And so let's kind of go back to our JavaScript, because I think let's kind of quickly get the JavaScript, and I think I do need to install my Node.js too, which I forgot. I did it on my previous system. I should have actually streamed using this system last week, but I didn't think of it, right? So, okay, let's go to a different color. I think I might have my JavaScript Okay, yeah, I don't have npm. Oops, sorry. No, okay, so I don't have that. So okay, let's kind of do quick. Wow, everything I have to do it again. So um, node npm installer. Okay. Okay, so I don't have node and I do not have npm. So I can do nvm, right? Using node version manager to install. I think that's kind of recommended, right? Oh, so okay, so over here I can clone it, but let's say, you know what I'll do? It's just a little faster is if I use a node installer to do the job. If I'm using OS X, so I can just do Node.js. Okay, let's do it. Ah, that's where I was last time. So use LTS, I remember, and we could do installer. That'd be good, right? Okay, it's 53 meg, which isn't so bad, so we can wait for that. Like I said, right now it's kind of another. I'm already running this almost 2 hours. I can't believe it. It's already time goes by so quickly. Okay, and I think some of you are still here, so relate that. I'm not sure if my if any of my new colleagues are lurking behind. If you see that I'm making a fool of myself, you're welcome to come too into onto screen to help too. But I think maybe a lot of the folks are probably too late. It's like, kind of midnight. But you know what I'll do? I'm going to start moving this stream to a bit earlier in the day, because then that way too, I make sure my colleagues in Germany can also join at a more convenient hour, I think. Like, today is a little bit special because I didn't get everything ready soon enough. So, and let me say, okay, so my node is ready. So that's good. Let's get my node running first. But maybe starting next, well, actually, next week, talking about which I forgot to tell you, I will actually be at, let me start also doing this. Okay, install, read the license. Okay, say good. Okay, and then install. Okay, so next week, I will actually be at a conference. And if you're interested, well, although I don't think they are doing any streaming, that's the only thing. But let me kind of like show that to you. I will be going to a conference. It's in Ohio, in Sandusky, Ohio, and that's where like the biggest roller coaster in the U.S. is actually installed there, and it's right by, by the way too, it is also right by the Great Lakes, one of the Great Lakes, which is like Lake. I think Ohio there is, what is it? Okay, I'll search too in a little bit, but anyway, but the Sandusky, right? So I wanted to show you this first. If Especially if you're interested into roller coaster water parks, and that's a great place to be at. Even wintertime, there are indoor water parks too. So okay, so the conference is called CoMash. So here we go. So yeah, like I said, I do not think any of you. I mean, maybe some of you are planning on coming, but okay. So I got my node installed. So, but let me kind of like just share with you a little bit too. So the CoMash conference. So next week, January 11 to 14th, right? In Sandusky, Ohio, right? That's state. And okay, here we go. So that's the conference that I will be speaking at. So it's right here. So I will be there. However, my talk is on Thursday, so it shouldn't affect me doing a stream on Wednesday. So I will be doing it from there. But the only thing is, in that case, is that then I would just have a slightly different setup, because I won't have all of the equipment that I have. Otherwise, I have right in my home office. So that's the only thing. But I'm hoping too to be a bit more now that I get all these things set up. Although I have to say that if my computer comes next week, although I won't be able to get it until I get home after that, then yeah. So anyway, yeah, so let's see. I will be there, but my talk is not until Thursday, so I'll be able to, Wednesday I'll be there too already. So yeah, if you're interested, right, in that conference, you can also take a look to see, you know, if you be interested, because I think they also publish some of their talks too. Now the thing is too, maybe full stable, you may find it a little bit interesting to you, because there are a number of .NET or speakers kind of talking on topics that are related to .NET too, or C# too. So yeah, so that should be interesting. So yeah, so those are just some of the things for you. But okay, so I think my node has been installed. So let me see. So if I run that. Okay, so cool. So it's version 16.1, so Control D, right? Okay. And then there's also a node and then npm, right? I think npm too. Yeah. So okay, cool. So I have both of these ready. Finally, can you believe it took this long? Okay, so let me go back to my installation, my thing here. So this is my website, right? But the thing is too, I think the thing is that's the website, but it's actually we just need to download this guy. Okay, all right. So let me then go back to. Um, let me see. Actually, okay, I didn't do that. Yes. Let me go back to my proper working directory. Right. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So it clone. Oops. Okay, so now I got the source code of this guy, and it's just that is interesting. Why is it only that? No, I want the whole thing. Oh, because I was clicking on just that. Okay, but the last time, how did I do it? Okay, for Node.js in the browser, Mqtt. Okay, okay. So because I thought the last time when I install it, it gave me the entire set of repository, but mqtt JS. I think it's actually very late, right, for some of you. You know what I'll do? I find myself a little bit, because of all of these things that I was doing was taking a bit longer. Okay, so I'm actually essentially at the same point again. I do need to go back and work on the JavaScript, but like I said, last week was holiday. I never got time to complete that, and I was hoping to do it, and but ended up this week I'm doing all of these installations. So and it's delaying everything, but at least I hope too is that it gives you an idea about Hive MQ. And I've been streaming for 2 hours already. It's already, I believe, quite late, in Europe. So no sense of me kind of staying up all the way. But what I can do, because now I can stream essentially at any time. So what I'll do is let me set up another time, right, in between. If I have time, I'll do kind of like a one-off kind of stream, and like kind of like let's kind of get this JavaScript thing going, maybe like on Monday if I can, or even over the weekend if you're free, if you want to, right? And I can do a stream too. So yeah, so please stay kind of tuned with me. And so rather than me kind of kind of taking up your time, and some of you already maybe sleeping already, right? So let me then maybe end the stream here. It's again, been just 2 hours. And I want to thank you again for being so patient with me, and also chatting with me today, as always too. It's great to be chatting with you. Sometimes we talk about other things, but I think it's important too sometimes, if you find it useful, right? So okay, so then not sure who else is here, but I want to thank you. And I, again, next Wednesday for sure I'll be here at about this time. Probably I'll start a bit sooner, say around like a bit earlier too for Europe, so it won't be as late. Because I started I think at 3, which was like 10 for you, so this must be like midnight by now. So let me try to start a bit earlier, let's say around 8. Hopefully not as late, right, for you. So it'll be kind of midday for me, because I'll be at the conference. So I want to do that. And also too, if, like I said, right, on over the weekend, if I have some time, on Saturday or something, I like to do one just to complete this JavaScript client and then show it to you, and then you can also take it, however way you want to. So okay, well, thank you. everybody, I want to wish you all a very good good night, and then or good morning or good evening. And I'll talk with you next time. Thank you. Bye.